So I've got the bigger box today, right? So this is what a typical Rolex box would look like. I'm not sure what box is this. I think it's Oyster Perpetual. That's a special box too. We'll talk about it a bit later. But generally, this is the standard size of the Rolex boxes. And today I have got the bigger box, right? So this is significantly bigger. If I try to put them like overlap them like that, you can see that this is the biggest size box. And that's because we're going to be talking about a very, very, very special watch today. So this Day Date 40 in yellow gold, full-blown yellow gold with the champagne dial and the Baguette hour marker comes with a certain amount of philosophical baggage, I would say. All Rolexes really do for that sake. But this one more so than others. I mean, especially when you're talking about something as blingy, as shiny as this Day Date, that is definitely a statement piece to some extent. And sure, you get other technical gold watches from Rolex like the GMTs, the Explorers, the Submariners, but you gotta give it justice when it comes to the Day Date that by nature it just looks best when it's the Day Date, right? It just makes sense. I mean, I don't know, that's my opinion. I could be absolutely wrong about it because of course a rose gold or a yellow gold Daytona would also look nice, but it is a precious metal theme that is, in my opinion, best suited for a Day Date. So let's do the intro really quick and jump into the specs. Let's get into it. So specs wise, this is the reference 228238 on 40mm case size. This is the successor of the recently discontinued 41mm case size. It comes in full 18 karat yellow gold and it has the Presidential Bracelet, which is in my opinion a lot even more comfortable than the Jubilee, although Day Dates of course only come in precious metal, so it's generally heavier, but I still find this a lot more comfortable over the Jubilee bracelets that you get with the stainless steel models. It's got a screw down case back and winding crown, of course a fluted bezel with a twin lock double waterproofness system. It's got a scratch resistant sapphire with Cyclops lens over the date. This is to magnify the date of course, and waterproofness for up to 100 meters, which is about 330 feet. It carries the caliber 3255 with precision accuracy of plus minus 2 seconds per day. The general consensus is that the higher you go up in horology, the more compromises you would be making, be it the water resistant, robustness, or whatever. I mean, if you look at AP, well, not AP, let's scrap that out and look at their only successful model line, and that is the Royal Oak. It really feels like the watch is wearing you and not the other way around. Like you have to be extra careful with it. I know I was, at least. Rolex, on the other hand, would give you the ultimate prestige, would give you the ultimate sort of in-your-face type of watch that you can still wear on day-to-day basis. I mean, safety could be a concern in some parts of the world more than others. I live in Dubai, so generally wearing a yellow gold or any precious metal watch really is not an issue. However, going back to your normal activities, whether that be swimming, I swear I spoke to someone that literally goes swimming with a full platinum Day Date with no issues whatsoever. And that's what we know Rolex for, right? That's what we expect from Rolex. This is the only brand that gives you value for money in terms of how much you actually pay and how much activities, your day-to-day activities, you can actually do with that watch, right? This is not something you get from the other brands. Everything comes with like a manual of things that you shouldn't do. That's not the case with Rolex. The bracelet, on the other hand, is by far the most comfortable bracelet on the market, the most elegant, in my opinion, from any watch manufacturer today. I'm not talking about bracelet companies that got you thinking that they're watchmakers. AP, honestly speaking, their bracelets are nice, but nothing compares to the level of comfort that you would get with the Presidential Bracelet. I mean, this is definitely the most comfortable bracelet that you can have on any watch. If you thought the Jubilee is actually comfortable, try on a Presidential and you'll see what I mean exactly. It's heavier, of course, because this is in yellow gold. It's not like you can get it in stainless steel anyways. The Presidential Bracelet is a semicircular 3-piece link that you want to loosen up a bit. I think it just looks cool like that. Literally speaking, this is super comfortable on the wrist. So the Day Date 40 was released in 2015, and as the successor of the Day Date 2 or the 41mm case Day Date, and then they brought it back, right? So they discontinued the 41 and they brought this 40 case back, which I think is the absolute perfect size for it. So generally when the specs sheet reads as 40, then you know it's like that just a little extra, yeah, so it'd be 40.5 something. I think that this is generally a very good size for the Day Date. I much prefer the Day Date 40 than the Day Date 41. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think. It depends on your wrist size, but overall I think the Day Date 40 is the right size. The 40mm case size is definitely the right size for this Day Date. Typically a Day Date wouldn't attract as much attention or collectors' interest as sport models or other technical models, but the full gold Baguette hour markers for a price of a steel Daytona in the aftermarket, I think it's a crime not to consider it. So I understand that Day Dates in yellow gold or rose gold might not be everyone's taste because it's just a little bit loud, and this is definitely also not an argument for high horology, because Rolex as a brand is not trying to be that. They're not trying to tell you we're the highest in the spectrum, right? We're not giving you the highest horology piece. In fact, we don't even make high complication watches. We've got the Sky Dweller, of course, and that's the most complicated watch they make. But when you talk about value for money, prestige, and that statement piece, you really can't beat what Rolex offers you across the board, more specifically the Day Date model line. So let's put this together. You've got your Trinity, you've got your Patek, you've got your AP, you've got your Vacheron. Although AP, I think in my opinion, is a little bit more questionable because once again, it's only one successful model line that they make. That's number one. And number two, when you compare it to something like the quality you get with a Lange, that is just absolutely next level. Like this is something I'm going to talk about in another video. We'll save it there. I feel like this should be up there with the Trinity, or maybe even a brand that is replacing AP, considering that they're the masters of creation when it comes to chronographs, right? So in my opinion, if I were to revisit the Trinity, I'll definitely take AP down and I'm going to put that Lange up there. Something we'll talk about in detail in my other video. And then you have Rolex as a blueprint, surely mass produced and maybe less quality than what the other brands would offer you. But then again, maybe that's not what we need, you know? Maybe all what you want is really a luxurious, fun watch that you can do your day-to-day activities with no question whatsoever. Maybe that's enough, and that's really the league that Rolex is in. So this Day Date 40 with the champagne dial and the Baguette diamonds on the Presidential Bracelet is loud, man. This is like the loudest, okay, well, past the Vacheron, this is the second loudest watches. This is the first watch I get that has Baguette diamonds on it, and I had it for a minute too, right? So it's not something that I purchased recently. And I gotta tell you, man, you know, you build relationships. That's what this whole thing is about, right? Without relationships, it's nothing. You can be offered the best watch, but if the purchase experience is not good, that's gonna mark, man. That's something you're gonna remember. And for me, I definitely value both, right? So I definitely want to get a good product, but in the same time, I want to marry that to a very, very nice purchase experience. If that purchase experience in any way gets affected, right? Because say the strategy with the brand had changed, or they used to be represented by an authorized dealer and that's not the case anymore, that to me can also take me to a point where I just might not be interested anymore. And this is something that I want to talk about in details about a specific brand that I used to really, really like. And this had changed. So I feel like this topic deserves more attention, and this is something I want to rope in. A good friend of mine, Khaled Farouk, you guys had seen him in the channel before, a wealth of knowledge when it comes to, you know, high horology watches and the historical aspects behind it. So he definitely deserves a seat there. And I also want to open it for you guys. If I were to say change the format into a live format, right? Would you want to partake? I'm happy to take in a few names. Do leave them in the comment section of this video, and I'd be more than happy to include you there. Let me know what you think of this full yellow gold Day Date 40 in champagne dial with the Baguette hour markers. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do smash that subscribe button because it would help me, it would encourage me to create more content for you guys, and do turn on the notification bell as well so you know when that content drops fresh. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.